Imagine ruling over an empire so wealthy that your name becomes synonymous with unimaginable riches. That was the life of Mansa Musa, the legendary ruler of the Mali Empire, often hailed as the richest person in history. With the Mali Empire as the epicenter of the world's gold production, Musa's wealth was beyond comprehension. His reign is famed for a gold-laden pilgrimage to Mecca that dazzled the world, and his influence spread Islam throughout West Africa, turning the Mali Empire into a beacon of Islamic learning. So, if tales of untold wealth, epic journeys, and the rise of a golden empire intrigue you, stick around. Mansa Musa's story is one you won't want to miss. The Mali Empire didn't just expand. It soared to prominence as a regional powerhouse in West Africa, all thanks to its glittering gold reserves. Imagine an empire sitting on 3 massive gold mines, holding half of the world's known gold supply at the time. Now, that's a serious treasure chest, but the gold wasn't the only thing filling Mali's coffers. Salt and copper also played a big part in boosting the empire's wealth, and they weren't just rich, they were smart about it too. The Mali Empire had one of the most effective administrative systems in all of pre-colonial Africa. The empire was neatly divided into provinces, each managed by province masters and governors. This clever setup allowed the empire to stretch its borders far and wide, all while keeping the peace. The Mansa could collect taxes without ruffling any feathers, ensuring everyone stayed happy under his rule. The early years of Mansa Musa's life are shrouded in mystery, with only a few hints suggesting he was born in the late 13th century. Now, here's where things get interesting. Legend has it that Mansa Muhammad, the ruler before Musa, decided to embark on a daring expedition across the Atlantic Ocean. While he was off on this adventure, Musa was left in charge as the deputy ruler of the Mali Empire. But Mansa Muhammad and his fleet of 2,000 ships vanished without a trace. Some hopeful historians like to think that just maybe, Mansa Muhammad stumbled upon the Americas, beating Christopher Columbus to it by a good 200 years. But alas, there is no solid archaeological proof to back up this bold claim. The more likely scenario, Mansa Muhammad and his crew were lost at sea, never to be seen again. With Mansa Muhammad's disappearance, Musa found himself stepping into the role of the 9th Mansa of the Mali Empire around 1312 CE, and he didn't waste any time making his mark. Under Musa's leadership, the empire rapidly expanded, adding 24 new cities to its territory. This period also saw the empire's gold mines working overtime, filling Musa's coffers and boosting his power like never before. Mansa Musa's wealth is the stuff of legend, a fortune so vast it's almost impossible to wrap your head around. People still debate just how rich he was, but the most popular estimate pegs his wealth between a jaw-dropping $400 billion when adjusted for inflation. To put that into perspective, today's titans of the industry like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos are worth $233 billion and $161 billion respectively, according to Forbes. That means Mansa Musa wasn't just the wealthiest person by today's standard, he might have been the richest person who ever lived. What makes this even more astonishing is that unlike the billionaires of today, whose fortunes are tied up in stocks and the success of their companies, Mansa Musa's wealth was in solid, glittering gold, wealth you could actually hold in your hands. As for his personal life, not much is known. However, it is believed that he was married to Inari Kunate, and together they had a son named Maghan. The details surrounding Mansa Musa's death are also a bit murky, but it's generally accepted that he passed away in 1337 CE at around 57 years old. After his death, his son Maghan took over as the Mansa of the Mali Empire, stepping into some very big gold-lined shoes. Mansa Musa's reign is often called the Golden Age of the Mali Empire, and it's easy to see why. He presided over an era of incredible territorial growth and booming economic prosperity. But what really sets his rule apart was his legendary pilgrimage to Mecca, a journey so lavish it almost sounds like something out of a myth. The impact of this pilgrimage was enormous, both immediately and in the years to come. For starters, Musa's journey played a huge role in spreading Islam throughout West Africa, where it remains the dominant religion in many countries today. Timbuktu, under his influence, transformed into the epicenter of Islamic education in the region, earning fame across the Muslim world. But after Musa's death, things took a downward turn. Poor leadership and civil strife led to the empire's decline. His son Maghan was overthrown by none other than Musa's brother, Suleiman. Meanwhile, neighboring powers like the rising Songhai Empire began to nibble away at Mali's borders. By the 17th century, the once mighty Mali Empire faced a devastating blow when the Bamana Empire sacked its capital, leading to its eventual collapse. However, Mansa Musa's pilgrimage did more than just change West Africa. It caught the attention of Europe. In the years following his death, European cartographers and explorers began frequenting West Africa, drawn by tales of his incredible wealth. Some might even argue that the riches of the Mali Empire and other West African kingdoms sparked European colonial ambitions, which tragically resulted in the enslavement of African people and the exploitation of the continent's wealth and resources. Mansa Musa was not just any ruler, he was the first truly devout Muslim, Mansa, of the Mali Empire, and his faith shaped much of his reign. He saw Islam as a gateway to more sophisticated and cultured world of the Middle East, believing that spreading the religion throughout his empire would lead to greater development and prosperity. In 1324 CE, Musa embarked on his epic pilgrimage to Mecca, the holiest city in Islam. Now, this wasn't just any pilgrimage, this was a spectacle. The procession reportedly included up to 60,000 people, though some say it was closer to 15,000. Among them were Musa's servants, enslaved people, soldiers, and even members of his royal court, including his wife. The sheer opulence of this journey was staggering. 500 slaves each carried staffs of solid gold, and Musa's servants dressed in luxurious silk robe. And let's not forget the caravan of over 100 camels, each loaded with more than 200 pounds of pure gold. As he made his way across North Africa, Musa left his mark by building mosques wherever he went. When he arrived in Cairo, the procession set up camp near the iconic Great Pyramids of Giza. Musa even caught the attention of Sultan Muhammad al-Nasir ibn Qawwun of Egypt, who invited him to stay in the royal palace. Musa ended up spending 3 months in Cairo, where he spent so much gold that it nearly caused an economic crisis in Egypt. But his journey didn't stop there. Before reaching Mecca, Musa made a stop in Medina to visit the tomb of the Prophet Muhammad. He finally completed his pilgrimage in Mecca, where he bought houses for future pilgrims from Mali and tried to convince Muslim scholars and architects to return with him to Mali. His pilgrimage wasn't just a religious journey, it was a grand statement that showcased the wealth and influence of the Mali Empire to the world. Mansa Musa's pilgrimage wasn't just a grand display of wealth, it was a powerful force in solidifying Islam across West Africa. While Islam had already reached the region and had been adopted by some, Musa's journey to Mecca firmly entrenched the faith throughout his empire. One of his most notable successes was convincing the renowned Andalusian architect and poet Abu Ishaq al-Sahili to return with him to Mali. Al-Sahili is credited with introducing innovative building techniques to the region, like burning clay to create bricks and popularizing flat roofs. These advancements led to the development of new architectural styles that became iconic in Mali. On the way back from Mecca, the Mali Empire expanded its territory by conquering the cities of Timbuktu and Gao, both of which were significant wins for Musa. In Timbuktu, Al-Sahili is often credited with constructing the famous Dijengruber Mosque and Sankore University, although some historians debate his involvement. Regardless, these structures still stand today, and their presence transformed Timbuktu into a major center for learning. The city became a hub of intellectual activity, with its numerous mosques, schools, and the university attracting students from all over North and West Africa, as well as the Middle East. At its peak, Timbuktu housed around 25,000 students and scholars who flocked there to study Islamic law and theology. The city's reputation spread far and wide, making it one of the most renowned centers of learning in the entire Muslim world. Mansa Musa's epic pilgrimage to Mecca stands as one of the most remarkable moments in African history, leaving a lasting impact on the continent's future. His legacy has transformed him into a legendary figure representing Africa at the peak of its splendor during the Mali Empire's golden age. Yet it also serves as a poignant reminder of the potential for an independent and thriving Africa. If you enjoyed exploring this incredible story, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more captivating content, and drop a comment below with your thoughts.